Welcome to another edition of Blackhawks Central Hockey Podcast. I am Joe Vitali and this is Skoks. And as always, and today we're going to be just talking about a couple of things, some news a little bit, but it is August in the NHL and not a lot of stuff going on. Right now, you're looking more football, college football.
Oh,
I saw
baseball going on. Yeah.
Saw Notre Dame absolutely shellac Navy
Yeah, I saw that.
over the weekend. Was surprised that it was already college football season, so that's really cool. Love to see that. Big college football guy, but
hmm
you're here because you want to talk about the Blackhawks. So, Evan Bouchard. We were talking last episode, maybe episode before that. He signed a 2-year, $3.9 million deal. It's official, on cap friendly right now. So Frege was not lying to us. Not that I thought he would, but
hmm
just for certain, it's officially official.
Yeah, came through, right? 2 years, 3.9. I think we went over it. It's a solid deal. He's still young and first round pick. And then, little bridge deal. That's cool. It's fine.
Yeah, really offensively gifted.
hmm
His is like kind of near Keandre Miller's deal,
Yep.
which I find a little interesting because they're two different players. Keandre Miller's really good defensively. He's got some offensive prowess, but he's kind of just a minute muncher. So
hmm
different roles, similarly paid. I would say obviously the offense is a little bit better. I would weight that a little bit differently
hmm
and more heavily for a player. But good on that. Little unfortunate news.
Yeah.
Joonas Donskoi of the Seattle Kraken
hmm
was on the Colorado Avalanche and I want to say the Canadians or
Um,
no, I'm
I
thinking of Arturi Lehkonen, I think.
yeah, I believe recently just the Avs and the Kraken. Yeah.
Kraken, yeah. So he announced his retirement.
hmm
If you guys remember, last season he got a concussion
hmm
in the preseason,
Yeah.
and so I guess it was just too too many concussions,
hmm
and he had to start really thinking about his life as a man rather than just as a hockey player.
Right.
So 31 years old, he decided to call it, and you know, wish him a healthy rest of his life. And unfortunate that it had to go that way.
Yeah.
Lots of players like Sidney Crosby. He ran into concussion trouble and he worked that out, which is really cool. Bowen Byram,
hmm
he's Donskoi's ex teammate. He's kind of on the edge there with concussions, and
hmm
so it's a contact sport. It's a heavy sport. It's a
Yep.
violent sport, and you always got to look out for those. But they've made their decision as players, and man, great sport. Love hockey. So
hmm
unfortunate that this case for Donskoi forced him to retire,
hmm
but you know, uh, looking forward to his future as a
Yeah.
civilian.
Really quick on just like his career. He played 474 games. Not bad for just
Yeah,
being like 31. Was it right?
yeah,
Just for the Sharks, Colorado, and just recently the Kraken. A fun team to be on. But unfortunately, he did have that concussion, and yeah, but hey, decent career, solid career.
yeah.
About 500 games. Fun player to watch. Super fast, super speedy player. I remember him on the Avs, and he's flying, man. Just skating circles with that speedy lineup. That was fun to watch, man. Yeah, great career, really.
Yeah.
Jonas.
Yeah, I saw someone saying, oh, he didn't score that many goals, but the ones he
Mm.
did score
Yeah.
were like highlight.
Oh
So,
yeah.
like
Very
that's
impressive. Yeah.
yeah, great. Almost 500 games. I
Mm-hmm.
want to say the average amount of games is like 150 in the NHL.
Wow.
So that's like that's good. That's
Yeah.
awesome for him. So
Mm-hmm.
good luck in the future, Joonas Donskoi.
Mm-hmm.
And then elite prospects. This
Mm-hmm.
is taking it over to some Blackhawks news. Elite prospects released their top 15 goalie prospects outside the NHL. And
Mm-hmm.
at lucky number 13, the Chicago Blackhawks own Jackson Stauber from Providence College. So, you know, you'd think maybe, Adam Gajan from, just picked up over in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
No, not. Yeah, just talking about Jackson Stauber. He played some NHL games. So he played 6 NHL games for the Blackhawks,
Mm-hmm.
and he went 5-1, which is really awesome. And here, let me just get the official.
Mm-hmm.
He did a 281 GAA and a 911 save percentage. And
It's
when you're,
impressive. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, when you're talking about goaltenders, you
Mm-hmm.
want them to be in that 910 range.
Mm-hmm.
910 goaltending is going to keep a decent amount of pucks outside of your net.
Mm-hmm.
And if, Arvid Soderblom, yeah, he played NHL games too, but the team around him was garbage, and
Right.
they really left him hung out to dry on a lot of the goals he let up.
Mm-hmm.
Cross creasers, rebounds, the not being cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Blackhawks team was kind of doing Arvid Soderblom a little bit of a disservice,
Right.
and so that's why he probably didn't make that top 15. But
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Stauber, I think he's like the first goaltender since maybe Tony O in the Blackhawks
Really.
organization that won their first 3 games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, really, coming from college,
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of expectations. I know I didn't have much,
No.
um, but he's in the AHL he played 17 games. He went 6-8, so a losing record,
Mm-hmm.
332 GAA and an 894 save percentage, which is a sub 900 save percentage in the AHL especially is it's a little rough. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're letting 3 1/3 goal in per game,
Mm-hmm.
you're really putting the pressure on your offense to score 4, which,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
it's
It's a
it's
big
a
ask. Right.
it's a big ask. It is a tough hill to climb.
Yeah.
So, um, I'm really excited for the goaltending prospects that the
Mm-hmm.
Blackhawks have. I don't, this isn't Hasek, this isn't Belfour, this isn't Corey Crawford,
No.
Antti
No.
Niemi, Cristobal Huey. It's not these types of guys. Nikolai Khabibulin. You know, he's probably like one of my favorite Hawks goaltenders,
Yeah.
Nikolai,
I.
the Bulin wall.
Right. I always remember him.
Yeah,
Always.
but I think in Comesso, Stauber,
Right.
Gajan,
Mm-hmm. Soderblom.
Soderblom,
Right.
these are good prospects, and
Mm-hmm.
I think they all have the opportunity to become at minimum NHL backups.
Right.
So, you see like Kevin Lincoln, and he moved on, and
Mm-hmm.
he's a great backup for UC Saros, who's an
Yep.
incredible goaltender in Nashville. And then I want to say uh,
Anton Forsberg
Anton Forsberg,
with the Senators, I believe.
Senators.
Right.
Yep.
Uh,
eh,
he's had a
Coming off
little
injury.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had a
But
little solid like resurgence. Right.
yes,
And that's cool. That's cool to see. Right. Too bad it
definitely.
wasn't with us, but
Exactly.
good for Anton. There's a few other names, but it's just not coming to me right now.
Delia, that was the one I was thinking
Delia,
of.
right,
Yeah,
right.
Delia. He was in Vancouver, and I
Hmm.
believe he is switched again.
Yeah, he's bounced around a lot, man.
Yeah.
A lot recently.
You know who's a name I saw recently that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's still playing." It
Hmm.
was, Jeff Glass. Do you remember Jeff
Really?
Glass?
Yeah,
That
Jeff
talk
Glass.
is a that's a little bit of a throwback,
Yeah.
goaltending guy.
Is he
So
still like active, like on a
yeah,
roster?
he's in the A somewhere.
Oh,
I
really?
I I saw him and I was like, "What?"
Wow.
He might have actually gone to, he might have gone overseas. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
check this really quick.
Yeah, yeah. Really quick on Stauber. So,
Yeah.
I believe his dad was in the league for a little too. Was it Rob Stauber? And he has like a goalie training facility now. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and I'm always seeing, like clips of goalie training and mostly like fundamentals. Really honed in on it, but you can kind of see that with Jackson Stauber here. He just seems sound in net, right? He's very stable, doesn't get crazy like recent name Colin Delia, like he's doing backflips, spinning in circles. Stauber's really sound, really good fundamentally, and that plays well when you have a decor that is playing well in front of you, right? So that's what we saw with his 5 wins. He's making the saves that you need him to make, and while he's making one or two spectacular saves, which you also need to make once in a while. I mean, you have to make a save, and
No doubt.
great for Jackson. Just having some fun last year, getting some wins, going to the next year in Rockford. Just rock out with Comesso. Just rock out.
Yeah, that's show 'em the ropes a
Right,
little
right,
bit, you know?
right.
Like, "Hey, by the way, this is what it's like in the pro leagues."
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool.
So,
Mhm.
update on, Jeff Glass. So, he actually retired in 21-22,
Oh, okay, okay.
but he is a goaltending coach for the San Diego Gulls
Really,
in,
really.
In San Diego, obviously the Ducks farm team.
Yeah,
So,
that's
that's
interesting. Yeah,
I think that yeah, I think that's interesting. And then you got former Blackhawk Alex Stalock going to Anaheim.
Anaheim. Right. Yep. He'll be with, I guess, currently still surprisingly. Well, maybe not too surprising, but John Gibson still hanging
John
around.
Gibson's still there, and Lucas Dostal, I believe.
Dostal, like his game, right?
Yeah, good
Staylock
young
hang.
goalie.
Yeah, that's weird. It's a weird room, but we'll see what happens. Yeah,
Definitely
we'll
will.
definitely.
Obviously Stalock. I mean, the Hawks. They got into an emergency situation last
Mhm.
season where they had to sign Dylan Wells,
Yeah.
who eventually went to the Dallas Stars in that Max Domi trade.
Yep. Hmm.
Um, but stuff like that where it's like it could happen to any team. And
Hmm.
obviously, John Gibson wants out, so it's just
Right.
an assurance, to get that depth, and then also maybe they get rid of John Gibson, so then
Hmm.
it'll be Dostal and Stalock, and maybe they like it that way.
Yeah. Uh, we'll see with the Ducks young team. It's interesting, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Ducks were Corey Promen's number one pipeline team, but
Yes. Yes.
he was saying that honestly it could have been any one of the Ducks, Hawks, or Devils. I want to
Might
say
have been Blue Jackets,
Blue Jackets.
Columbus. Yeah, I believe it was us 3. Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. Interesting thing with those rankings. I
yeah,
believe it was under 23.
yeah,
Right. So it's not necessarily like what's it called? Like prospects that really haven't made the jump to the NHL yet.
yeah. Like
But it's just
just prospects and draft picks.
yeah,
It's like
Right.
young guys, like it would be like a Lucas Reichel or
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
like
like rostered players
exactly.
like a Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, right?
Yeah.
Uh kind of weird ranking system, if you ask me, because they're established players right now. Like they are young stars, and I wouldn't put them in a prospect ranking, right?
Right.
Little weird, and I definitely think that the Hawks or Blue Jackets would be one or two, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, and then, like you think about like Zegras. Like Zegras was in like
Zegras,
he
right?
was involved in that. Like
Hmm.
Drysdale, Zegras,
Drysdale,
the Mason McTavish. Like
McTavish, right?
they would have all been, factored into that where it's
Yeah,
like, dude,
I don't
like
like it.
Zegras
No,
is, Zegras is putting up like 50 points, dude. Like,
right, right.
like that's a great player. So
Yeah,
like, and he's only going up.
yeah,
So,
A-
you know,
and and he's been in the bigs for this season. Last season might have been full season, so two
yeah,
2 full years. I
right.
mean, that's not a prospect really
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, I guess
Weird.
maybe
Yeah.
like how you expand it to like the pipeline. I guess
Right.
he's still kind of part of the pipeline, but he's already like up. So,
Yeah. Establishing himself,
right.
you know?
So, it's good for the Hawks to be number 2 and
Right.
and also good that it's not like, okay, yeah, they got the number 1 prospect in hockey, Connor Bedard, and
Right.
okay, that's it. It's like,
Hmm.
no. They have Ethan Del Mastro, they have Kevin Korchinski, they
Hmm.
have Frank Nazar, Oliver
Right.
Moore.
Oliver Moore. Right.
You know, these guys are, Paul Ludwinski.
Mhm.
You got a shout out.
Right.
It's like
Doc Hayes. Oh, I could go
exactly.
on and on.
Doc got a shout out. So it's like,
Right.
okay, well, this is awesome. Like the cupboards are well
Oh yeah.
stocked.
Hmm.
And
I'm loving it.
speaking of other prospects, the
Mm-hmm.
7th round pick of the Chicago Blackhawks, Yanni Peltonen,
Mm-hmm.
Finnish. He is 18
D
years old.
man. Yeah.
D-man, shoots left, 6'3", 174.
Yeah.
There's some sort of is it a scrimmage or is it more of a
Hmm.
actual season games played or
Uh,
like a friendly
it's
tournament?
it seems like it's a tournament, right? Five Nations under 20 opener.
Oh,
So they played Slovakia, and it says this tournament will be important. Um an important opportunity for players eyeing potential WJC spot. So the World Juniors
cool.
trying to get a spot on the big team that plays in the World Juniors. So this is like I don't know, sort of like a tryout, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a little bit more of a an active tryout,
Yeah. Right. 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 Hmm.
but competitive tryout for sure. So
Yeah.
let's go, Yanni. Good
Yeah.
for him. He's gotten 2 assists so far, no
Really.
goals.
Ooh.
But he's not really a point getter.
No. No.
He's really nifty on his skates.
Hmm.
He can maneuver and like dodge forechecking and
Okay.
stick checking and whatnot, and then gets that good first pass out of the offensive zone
Hmm.
up to the forwards, so that the forwards can get a nice shot on net, get
Hmm.
some good offense going for the team.
Yeah. And that makes me think of well, for Yanni's situation here, right? Like a late round draft pick, super late, right? Seventh rounder, but with his build 6'3", right? If he's making plays in the O zone and he's responsible in the D zone, right? He can be trusted. It kind of reminds me of Del Mastro last year in the World Juniors. Like he's not putting up numbers really. He
Right.
only had 1 or 2 goals, couple assists here and there, but he was the number one dude on the World Juniors team. Um,
For the
across
number one
from
nation.
right across from like Zellweger, but they're offensive guys, right?
Yeah.
But Del Mastro, man, did he surprise me in that tournament. I watched every game. Bedard going crazy, was praying for him every game, right?
Yeah.
and now look where we are. But Bedard was there, Korchinski, couple goals, one or two goals, right? Sneaky ones, but seeing Korch there and Del Mastro, not crazy, not a crazy point getter, but he was responsible, played the body. Nolan Allen also played the body. So hey, if Yanni's looking for a little spot here, you use some of that size. 6'3". Of course, he's a little skinny, right? 175. That's
It's
pretty thin there,
lean,
but yeah. But if
but
he can play smart,
he's 18.
yeah, he's a
You know,
young guy,
just
but
just give him a year.
right.
Let him
Uh,
pack on the freshman 15,
yeah,
freshman 30.
yeah. But if he plays smart, O zone, D zone, and he could be trusted, then he could find himself a little spot on third pair in the World Juniors. That would be awesome.
That would be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Finland, they're making some noise internationally.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's like, obviously the team is going to be getting better and better, and that bar is going to be set higher and higher to make that team. So good luck
Mm-hmm.
to him.
Definitely.
And yeah, you always Hawks especially. We know this as fans. Hawks love to have the yin and the yang. They've got the Keith and the Seabrook. They got the Jalmerson and the Oduya. They've got uh, they've got all these deep pairings
Mm-hmm.
that really like mimic each other and work well with each other. So, maybe Yanni Peltonen as a seventh rounder,
Mm-hmm.
though kind of a pipe dream, maybe he can, wedge in there and
Right.
be a part of the Blackhawks future.
Mm-hmm. Sort of closing out like the Hawks section for today. Got a couple quotes, or just a quote from Taylor Hall here regarding Bedard here. He's saying with Connor, it's about just letting him enjoy playing. And I think it's going to be a really fun year on and off the ice. I guess that's what I wish that I had done a little bit more, was just taking it in, right? Enjoying the moment a bit more when I was young because there was a lot going on. Obviously, right? Taylor Hall being a number one pick
Yeah,
in Edmonton, the Oilers.
there was
That's
a
a lot of
lot,
pressure there too,
lot
and
of pressure on him for
right.
sure.
I mean, he's looked at to be, just like a Crosby type of guy, like fix the franchise. Back then,
Yeah,
he was their guy, and solid career starting out, solid,
yeah,
but was it worthy of a number one pick? Obviously, I would have to look back at that draft class, right? But that's good for Taylor, right? Just helping out Connor. Love to see it. Love to see it.
yeah. I think that can go a couple of ways.
Right, right.
To me, like that quote was, you know, you don't really want to, at least in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
when I hear like, oh, I wish I would have done this,
Mm-hmm.
like I can, like learning from your mistakes and whatever for sure. But like, I just don't want to like, I don't want that sort of negativity to
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like affect,
Okay.
I don't know. I would have to hear the quote in context, to see how he inflected and whatnot, because this could very well just be like, hey man, this is what I wish I would have done. So just live in the moment, play
Yeah.
your game. Don't worry about the
Yeah.
external pressure,
Mm-hmm.
because he worried about the external pressure too
Right.
much,
Right.
or whatever, and whatnot. So I like to hear that. Obviously Taylor Hall is supposed to be showing Connor Bedard the ropes,
Mm-hmm.
so on the ice, and maybe a little bit off the ice too.
Right.
And so yeah, and then you got Foligno and Perry there in leadership roles.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Murphy as well.
Yep.
He's definitely going to be there. So all these, he's surrounded uh, by good leadership and good guys. So
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay,
Yeah.
and I think he's gonna. he's going to learn a lot, and
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see him on the ice, man, in that
Hmm.
'98 sweater.
Whew. 98 in red.
Yeah, '98
Hopefully,
red.
98 in black this year. Hopefully, cross my fingers, man.
I
Cross my fingers.
I think
Whew, for those alternate
Hawks got to
jerseys.
bring the all black
Yeah,
alts for sure. Come on,
right.
it's time.
And I believe it was Jay Zawoski has some sources that they are working on it very, very soon. So
Nice
I think if you're going to make it happen, this is the year to make it happen. I
for
mean,
sure.
put 98 in black, red stripes, white stripes, make it happen.
Oof,
Oh
that's gonna look so
man,
good.
whew. Um, Another tidbit from the Hawks. Future captain, possibly, probably not ever anymore, right?
Right.
Reese Johnson, he's engaged, so he will be getting married. I guess. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Reese
Cool.
Johnson. He is.
Leader.
I mean, he sticks up for the boys, which I
Yeah.
always appreciate. Glue guy, locker
Yeah.
room guy.
Right.
And I saw an article written about him last year, how he went and bought a bunch of land in Western Canada, like in
Yeah.
Alberta, and
Hmm.
he like started, I think, like a beef farm,
What was it?
a beef, like a cow, like
A beef farm.
yeah, I think he's like raising cattle in Western Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have heard a beet farm
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
because there are a lot of beet farms, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
We'll see what Reese
I
comes
just
up with,
thought
I
that was
guess.
interesting where he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, oh, yeah, during the season, yeah, I play hockey, and then in the off season, I'm a farmer. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, Gordie Howe, you know,
Yeah.
or Brett
Right.
Hull or whatever. It was like they
Yeah.
all those guys had farm boy strength. It was just
Right. Even like Bobby Hall too, right? He was like
oh, that's what I meant. Not
driving
I meant
tractors
Bobby.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant Bobby. There was always all those shirtless pics of him like baling hay,
It's
and he
crazy.
was like yoked. It's
It's
crazy.
it's nuts, man.
Yeah,
Um, if you're looking for something to keep an eye on this week,
yeah.
closing out our Bedsy content, it's just the BioSteel NHL camp is starting next week, which is tomorrow, right? Monday. So we'll see if they
Nice.
actually start on Monday, but it will be this week, coming up the week of the 28th August. So he will be there alongside Connor McDavid, Cale Makar, McKinnon, Draisaitl, Tavares, Eichel, McAvoy, and probably a few
Jesus.
others, right? A few, um, probably a few more defensemen, I would imagine, because there's only one listed here. But there's
Yeah.
probably going to be a few more guys here.
Wow.
That's
Star-studded cast.
that's unbelievable because he's been there for 1 or 2 years now. Before, starting when he was like 15.
Wow.
That is unreal,
That is
man.
unbelievable. Really good for him.
Oh wow.
Just
And
to pick the brains of these generational players.
right. I mean, cup winning Norris, right? Makar,
And
that is
McCarr did
great.
get a Conn Smythe, by the way.
Right. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Because I remember I was like, oh no, I'm like, I could have sworn he did. And then I was like, oh no, he didn't. No, he
Right.
did. He definitely did. The website I was looking at did not have it listed. He is a
Yeah.
Conn Smythe winner. And that is
Mm-hmm.
one of the besides the Stanley Cup in general,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the Conn Smythe is probably one of the harder trophies to win, just
Yeah,
because of
definitely.
how grueling the playoffs are.
Definitely. Um yeah. I mean if I'm Connor, just ask anything.
Yeah,
Like what kind of hockey tape you like, what kind of drinks you like, just ask anything, man. Like
yeah,
you're playing with Eichel, Tavares, McDavid, Draisaitl. Oh, keep your eyes on BioSteel this week, definitely. Whether it's their, I think they do have a YouTube, a Twitter, or X, and a Instagram. I'm definitely going to
oh
be locking in on those
yeah,
don't
lock in on
notifications.
that.
Yeah, any Bedard swings it over to McJesus, pots it home. I need to see it. I need to see it.
Yeah, and I remember at the what's the that device that they were using.
Mm-hmm.
The
Power Edge Pro.
Power Edge Pro, at that
Right.
Power
Right.
Edge Pro camp,
Mm-hmm.
McDavid, he's jumping over and
Oh
he's
yeah.
he's using his edges. He was so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And Bedard, he was looking good too, but he was like looking like a little, not like slow, but
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah. A little
unsure, almost
fresh to it. Right.
unsure of himself, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, 18 years old,
Yeah. Getting in the groove.
sweet Jesus, but
Right.
so learning from that and
Yeah.
everything, like it's just, yeah, it's gonna be great. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna soak everything up like a sponge,
Oh yeah.
hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll use some of that knowledge he gains
Yeah.
this season.
Learning from possibly the best skater ever to play the game. Right.
Ever.
McDavid. He is unreal. I had a chance to see the Hawks play the Oilers here at home at the UC, but I just couldn't get out there that night. But if you have a chance to get over for a Hawks game and watch Bedard against like a McDavid, oh, unreal! Gotta see it. Gotta see it.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact date, but I want to say it's in February is when the
Okay.
Oilers are in town,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a Tuesday. That's all I remember.
Could be cheap. Could be cheap.
Could be, yeah.
Tuesday
And,
night.
so yeah, to go, if you're gonna go see a Hawks game this season, you're
Mm-hmm.
like, maybe you're only going to one to three or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'd try and pencil that Oilers one in for sure, just so Draisaitl, McDavid,
Yeah.
and even now you've got Bouchard
Right.
and
Nugent Hopkins over there dishing it
yeah,
over.
exactly, Hyman and
Yeah.
Matthias Ekholm,
Mhm.
good players.
Right. That's sort of like a good tip, right? For ticket buying. Like if you're local, and if you're able to get over to the UC for a Hawks game, pick a pick a game where we're playing like the Leafs, right? So you get to see Matthews. You want to see these top 5, top 10 elite players, right? Like you're watching the Avs, then you watch McKinnon and McCarr at the same time. Oh, the
Right.
Lightning. You could watch Stamkos, Kucherov, Vass in that.
Yes, Hedman
Uh,
on the back end.
Hedman. Those are the games that you want to go to. Don't pick like a normal game. Usually that's on like early season, like Hawks versus Wild, Hawks versus Blue Jackets.
Yeah,
Like you want to see us Bedard versus like a generational player, right? Top
exactly.
5 player. Definitely. Just quick pro tip there. Pro tip.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's going to be it for this episode of Chicago Blackhawks Central Hockey Podcast. I hope you guys have enjoyed and have a good rest of the week. Monday again. Go Hawks.
Let's go Hawks.